My name is Jason Repack. I'm the president of the Horry Georgetown Home Builders Association, and at this time I'm calling our meeting to order. Let's see, somebody's gone. Oh, there it is. All right, next up we're going to have Matt Sedota come up and introduce our speaker. Matt?
Thank you so much. Ryan Foultz is the owner of PCRX Computers. We work with him regularly. Great organization, but a little bit about Ryan. He is a native of Conway. He spent the early days of his career, if I'm not mistaken, 25 years of his career with the Carolina Opry, working for Calvin Gilmore. And as you meet him, you'll realize he was not a performer. He is a graduate of Conway High and Coastal Carolina University. He does our Saturday morning Tech Talk on Talk 94.5. And he founded PCRX in 2007. They built a team helping our local community. He's a firm believer in building relationships and giving back. No question is too simple or too complex. His wife is Michelle. He has a son, Christian, who just graduated from Conway High School. He's got a new book about cybersecurity. It's called Welcome to the Jungle. And I know there's at least one person in this room besides myself and Ryan, Jack, that knows that Ryan also spent a little time as the Sandman on WKZQ back in the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in welcoming Ryan Foultz.
Thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to be talking to you guys today. And Patrina said that you guys need some help with security, so that's why I'm here. And you know, I'm a proud member of this association, and I've come to these meetings every month, and I don't know that I've seen it this packed. So there's a lot of visitors, and just exciting to be here and to be a part of this. I have to get Stanley. Will you help me set my computer up there? I'm a business owner too, and I value your time, and so I'm going to get through this. But if you have questions at the end of this, we'll have a small booth at the back as you leave. We'll be happy to answer some questions for you. You all right there, Stan? Okay. So this is an important topic. And the reason that it's extremely important is because in the past couple weeks, you know, hacking is happening locally, whether you want to believe it or not, whether you want to think it's going to happen to you or not, it is happening. And I can tell you that 3 instances that we're working in right now, one of them is a construction company, one of your fellow members and builders got hacked just a few weeks ago. You know, they had his passwords and everything were written in an Excel spreadsheet and put on his computer, and they got in his computer and they got all of the passwords for his bank and everything else that he had, and he came in the next day and they had taken $250,000 out of his bank account. And you know, I don't want that to happen to anybody, and so that's why I'm trying to get out and speak at different events and civic clubs and trying to educate business owners that this is happening, and it can happen to you, and sometimes it's not if, it's when. So a little bit about me. Thank you, Matt, for that. And there's nothing in there about WKZQ, but it was a fun time in my life. And I spent 20 years in the IT industry. I'm a native of here in Conway, South Carolina. We have a show on Tech Talk, 10 o'clock on Saturday mornings. I encourage you to tune into that. And of course, I have the book, Welcome to the Jungle, and we will have some copies of that available. It looks like this at the back. Also, you can go to our website. I left some little cards on your table that have our website and information on it. You can download the book there for free, as well as a buyer's guide to help you answer some more questions. All right, the NSA, we hate the government, we love the government. No matter what, they put out this information, top 10 cybersecurity mitigation strategies. It's important to them that you guys know this, and if you do any type of financing, no matter what it is, if it's heating and air conditioning, or you're financing a debt for somebody, or any type of financing, the FTC has now put out something similar to this, where you have to have a third-party penetration test done. You have to have an advisor that's an IT advisor that's not on your staff, and then you have to address some of the things at the penetration test. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but these are some of the things that we do at PCRX to try and help protect you. Some things to think about: 81% of security breaches come from weak or stolen passwords. 81%. 3 out of 4 companies do not have a password manager. How many of you have a password manager? Anybody? 1, 2, a few of you? Okay, so when I do these tests, I find a lot of times that companies are storing all of their passwords in their browser, which is the worst place that you can put your password, because somebody gets into your computer, they can get into your browser, and they can take all of your passwords. 55% of security breach victims are small businesses. It happened to AVX. They've been down now for 3 months. One of their employees in their Greenville office took their computer home. Their kid did their homework on it, got a virus, took it back to AVX, and the virus infiltrated one computer, then another computer, then another computer, basically shut down their whole operation. That's not something that's in the news. You don't hear it in the news. They're not talking about it. I don't know why, because it's a big deal, and so I'm just trying to get out to help and talk to you guys and do some things for free to help you guys be more secure. All right, data breaches are the new normal. 3 million, almost 4 million records are stolen every single day. That's a lot, 4 million. 166,000 every hour, 2,776 every minute, and yes, every second 46 records are taken or stolen. And these hackers, you might think that there's a high school guy with a hoodie on trying to hack into your computer, and it's not like that anymore. These are big time companies. These are call centers that are 10 stories high, and that's all these people are doing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is trying to find vulnerabilities in your network to get your data and your customers' data. And customers trust us with their data, so it's important that we take that and make sure that we're taking care of it. So a couple of things I want to talk to you about today. Number one, a common misconception is believing that antivirus is enough. Number two, we sometimes miss the warning signs. And number three, we don't seek validation. So let's talk about the first one. 75% of ransomware victims report having up-to-date antivirus. 75%. So what does that mean? It means that they thought that they were safe because they had antivirus. It means that they were investing in security. And security is an investment. And a lot of times you don't reap the benefits of that, or you don't see the benefits of that, but it's almost like insurance. If you bought home insurance, you probably don't think that something bad's going to happen to your home, but you have insurance anyway. If you knew for 100% certainty that nothing was going to happen to your house, then you probably wouldn't buy insurance, right? This is interactive. You guys can talk back and forth. It's interactive. Thank you very much. All right, hackers still can get in even if you have a good antivirus, because they can bypass the antivirus, and they're constantly evolving. It's not the same things that worked a long time ago aren't going to work today, because they're always changing their tactics. And antivirus is like your immune system in your body. What it does is it basically looks for different patterns in the files that you have on your computer. And it also, if it's not seen the file before, it assumes if it has not seen the file before, it assumes that it is good. Hackers keep changing their files, and the antivirus just can't keep up with that. So you have to have multiple layers of security. Even artificial intelligence needs to learn, making it slower to respond than the hacker. So your antivirus is constantly learning about programs that you use and things that you do on a daily basis, and it knows which are good and which are bad. Even, you've talked about AI, and that scares a whole lot of people because we think that it's going to take a lot of jobs and there's going to be a lot of things, but there's good and bad to it. There's good and bad to everything, right? You have, it just depends on who's using the tool. And I just said that way, in security, what worked yesterday does not work today. Let's take a small financial services firm. So we all know that before COVID, most of us worked in our office. And after COVID, what happened? Everyone starts working from home. Well, that increases your chances of having a cyber attack because now you have computers that are going from your office to your house, and they might not have the same protection at home that they would have if they were in your office. So how do we fix that is you have to make sure that you're investing in computers or laptops that are owned by your company so that wherever it goes, it is always protected, and your company's protected, and your data's protected. And I hear all the time that I use a web-based program, and so, it's up to the web-based program company to protect me, and that's not necessarily true. They're giving you that software to use and hoping that you have your network secure enough that no one's going to get on your computer, because if you are using a specific thing, let's just take QuickBooks for example. If you have your QuickBooks password saved on your computer, somebody gets into your computer and gets into your QuickBooks password, then they can get into QuickBooks. It's not anything that QuickBooks did, it's because you didn't secure your own environment. And so I just want to make sure that I make that clear. So when you work in the office, it's easy to protect them, right? If an attacker got past the antivirus, which they often do, the corporate firewall stopped them. But what happens when you take it home? People have the firewall from Walmart, right? So it's not the same protection. When the hacker gets past the antivirus, there's no corporate firewall to stop them. 1 out of 17 users are phished. 1 out of 17. How many of you familiar with phishing? Not like out here at the ocean, but phishing, your email phishing. It's important to recognize that and to teach people and to teach your staff about what they can click on and what they can't. And there's a lot of things that we can do at PCRX to protect you, but I can't take your employee's hand and tell them what they can and can't click on. It's impossible to do. And so that comes with security and training, and that's some of the things that we also offer to your business, is to be able to constantly train your employees about what's going on and what's happening. 1 out of 5 users will click on a malicious link. So if you have 5 people in your office, somebody's going to click on it. So if the hacker gets past your antivirus and he gets into your VPN and you're working from home, he can get into that computer. But then once he gets into that computer, he can get into all of these other computers. That's kind of how it spreads. We call that a foothold. So when you click on a malicious link, it puts a foothold onto your computer, which allows hackers to have access to your computer anytime they want to. They may not do it right away because they're in a big call center and it's on a ticket report. And so when your foothold gets onto your computer, it creates a ticket and they work the tickets. And when they get to your ticket, then they're going to have access to your computer. Way to stop that is to have a proactive approach and not a reactive approach. So we want to try and catch it before they get to it. Now, this particular business, it's a financial services, but I can tell you a story that happened in February. I got a call from an accounting office. And if you get a call from an accounting office in February, there's a major problem because they're knee-deep in tax returns. And she's like, I can't file any tax returns. And so we came in, we did a penetration test, we backtraced it, and realized the hacker got their passwords to file their tax returns, and filed like 500 fake tax returns through their account. And so guess what happened? The IRS shut them down. Now, if you're an accounting firm and you can't file tax returns, that's a big problem. And I would just encourage you to not wait until you're in that situation, because it's going to cost a lot more. All right, this particular one had 13 days of downtime and they paid the ransom. Now, if you pay the ransom, you might get your stuff back, you might not. I can tell you about 8 years ago, it happened in this area, the Horry County Schools. All their computers were held for ransom. And their IT department worked and worked and worked and worked. They still couldn't get around it. The ransom was, I think, $40,000, and they ended up having to pay the ransom to get all their stuff back. So you just have to be careful. And basically, all businesses are at risk. If you're a small business, big business, if you're in the cloud, basically all businesses are at risk. And if you get ransom, guess what? You're going to have to pay the ransom. So what can you do? Make sure that more than your antivirus is protecting your users. We like to take a layered approach. If your assets are in the center, you want to make sure that you have the perimeter secured by more than just antivirus. Your weakest link is always going to be the human link, because we can't control what people do, what people click on. And a lot of malware and a lot of phishing has to do with emotions. So if it's urgent, if you get an email and you absolutely have to do something right now, it's probably not real. But we don't think about that because we're distracted and we're busy and we don't have time to look at it, so we open it and bam, the rest is history. Sometimes we miss the warning signs. If you've experienced a breach, data loss, or ransomware, lightning does strike twice. It can happen to you again, unfortunately. Hackers often leave back doors. We call those footholds. It's the same kind of thing. They will leave that foothold on there until you can get it off. We have had a company in Aynard, and I was on the radio with Liz Calloway that morning. It was a Monday morning, and we were talking about this particular topic. And I got back to my office, and I have this red flashing thing on my computer, and I was like, what the heck's going on? And one of our clients, they had put a foothold on their computer. Our security company found it, took that computer off the network, and sent us an alert, and we were able to go down and pick up that computer and clean it before they were able to migrate onto other computers. You can log into your business email without being prompted for an access token on your phone. That's two-factor authentication. So if you have Outlook and you turn on your computer and you can open Outlook and immediately go to your email, that's not a good thing. That means that there's a token on your computer that can be stolen, and that's generally what happens when people hack into your email. They steal that token. You can change your password all day long. It's not going to matter. You get spam and unwanted email constantly appearing in your inbox. 74% of organizations in the United States experienced a successful phishing attack. That's a high number. 65% of those experience business email compromise. It's important to protect your emails because that's what they're looking at. 47% were infected with ransomware. So what can you do when you get those emails? Don't click on them. Call your computer support. Maybe you see some weird emails in your sent items because maybe somebody has taken it and sent you things or sent other people things. Profile updates like unexpected change to your phone number, new signature that's not yours, a mail forwarder that sends the message to the trash bin, a password that changes unexpectedly, and you have in your business really no clear method to report a security incident. And I always say, if you see something, say something. If you see somebody getting some kind of attack, whether it's a phishing attack or a ransomware attack or something, tell somebody else about it so it doesn't happen to them. If you own a business, you need to have a policy of what to do when a security incident happens so that it can be addressed quickly. Make sure everyone's on the lookout. Have a documented way to get help. Make sure everyone knows what to do. And the last thing is not seeking validation, and that's what we fail to do as business owners. And it's important because your customers' data should be as important to you as it is to your customers. So, question, do you ever get an x-ray at the dentist? Absolutely. Why? Anybody know why? Looking for cavities, looking for problems. Problems you can't detect with the naked eye. How about an x-ray of your network? Have any of you had that, an x-ray done of your network? Yes. You have, I know, because I did yours. How about your security? Have you had it analyzed? If you're only using antivirus, if you've ever had a breach, data loss, or ransomware, these are all reasons that you should have the x-ray done of your network. You can't log into your business email without being prompted for an access token on your phone. You get spam and unwanted email constantly appearing in your inbox, and I'm sure some of these are going to hit home with you. You're getting warning messages and pop-ups. You don't have a method to report a security incident. So what can you do? You can get a security analysis. And some of you might be thinking, well, I'm not the owner of the business, it's not my job to do that. Who will be responsible for communicating to your clients if you have a breach? Who will you deal with negotiating the ransom if you get ransomware? Who are you dealing with? The business owner. A lot of times people say that they're too small of a company. It doesn't matter. They don't care how big or small you are. They're throwing out a big net and they're trying to catch as many people as they can. Now, if you wrote, like I just wrote this book, and I know that I didn't proofread it, right? So you always, like I would give it to my wife and say, hey, read this and make sure it sounds good. And she would say, no, you're an idiot, you need to change this. Maybe my wife's the only wife like that in here, I don't know. So don't force your IT people to do it either. So you might be thinking, all right, so that's all great information, Ryan, what do I need to do now? You need to get an x-ray done of your network. And you know what, we're gonna do that for you for free, absolutely free, because that's how much I care about making sure that business owners understand the risks and that you find ways to plug those vulnerabilities, because I don't want to stand up here or to Rotary or to Sertoma or to any of these places I speak and talk about businesses here locally getting hacked. So what do? We analyze your network, then we meet with you, we review the results, and we give you simple steps that you can take to protect yourself and your data. Teresa is right here. Stand up, Teresa. At the end of all of this, she will be at the back. If you want to get this penetration test done, it's absolutely free. She will sign you up at the end of this. I don't know how much time I have left. Do I have time for any questions, Jason?
We can do one, maybe two, if there's any.
One, maybe two. Anybody have a question? No? All good. You do.
When you get phished in your email, is it, you should look out for companies that say like at Gmail or something, it doesn't actually have like a company name.
Right. The easiest way to do that is to copy the from address. Sometimes you can't see it, sometimes it'll say from Best Buy or whatever, but you can go up there and copy it and paste it into a Word document. It will tell you exactly who it's from. But yeah, that's a good way to check for phishing. Yes, ma'am, in the back there.
Is it a matter of just not opening that email, or is it a matter of not opening any attachments in that email?
You can open the email, but there's like something in there that you can click. Like the one that I saw the other day, I think was from Norton, and it said, you renewed your antivirus, but I don't have Norton. But somebody might have Norton, and they might click on the link that says view your invoice, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So opening it, but just be cautious. Don't click on anything within it. Yep, one more. Okay.
What about your phones that are connected to your network?
Okay, really quickly on the phones, they're pretty secure because of the Face ID, but still you want to have a password manager to put all your passwords in, because those are what's important. And the password manager also has an app for your phone that you can use to put them all in, so that's very convenient. And another thing is, do not ever connect to the public Wi-Fi, because you don't really know who's controlling the public Wi-Fi. So always use your phone at a phone hotspot if you are somewhere and you need to get online. That's another safe thing to say. But your phones are good. No one's going to steal your face. Maybe they will. I don't know. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Is there any other business to come before us? If not, thank you so much for coming out. Y'all have a great summer full of successful business. We look forward to seeing you in August.